Hey folks, Stacy here at the Battle Axe channel. Guys, question for you today. Are you paying attention to Canada? If not, you should be. I can guarantee you what happens there will happen here with one caveat. We still have the 2A. Guys, we all know that the truckers and the farmers that joined with them and the hundreds of thousands of citizens of Canada that have supported and it's not a blockade, it's a strike. Make no mistake, the word blockade is a propaganda word that governments use to give you the sense or the thought that it is a terror, right? We know I'm got to be careful what I say here so I don't, have issue with my channel. But you know that there are key words that governments do, just like how our very own government declared moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, and community members that came out these last months speaking against mandatory muzzles on our kids in the schools. They declared them domestic terrorists. And so is what the Canadian government is doing to these truckers and anybody who supports them. Guys, in the last 48 hours, 5 banks in the nation of Canada went black. They went down. They have went offline. The suspicion and the thought process and behind that is that there's a run on the Canadian banks right now because the Canadian government has declared that if you, the trucker, the farmer, or anybody who supports them, you are an active threat against the sovereignty of that government. You guys know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. They've declared these people the enemy of the state. Now, what they are doing is trying to seize their bank accounts. And that, my friends, if you look, here's something for you to consider. Think about this. I've said this before. Say what you want about these snake bites. But never before in our history has there been governments united and pushing such malarkey on its people that we got to the point where you cannot buy, sell, or trade. And now you've got a group of people, citizens of Canada, are fighting these snake bite mandates. And the government of Canada is saying, you who are striking against this, you anti-science, ignorant, white racist fools, that's what they're calling them. That's what Trudeau said. And there are plenty of articles. I've got the video right here, guys. Listen. Just listen to this. You hear it in his own words. You've got the Prime Minister making freedom-loving Canadian citizens out to be the enemy of that government. And they're going after their bank accounts. If you get caught, a trucker, you get a friend, you got a family member who's a trucker, and they say, hey, you know what? They have seized my accounts. They have taken not only my money, they've taken everything. Can't know. You get caught driving into town with your license plates and your registration, you will become an association to these truckers, the freedom fighters, and you too will have your bank accounts seized under their quote emergency act. Guys, you should be paying attention to this because you out there may not think that this could happen in America, and it would be much harder here because of the 2A. Because of the 2A, and you know what I'm talking about. But that doesn't mean it won't happen. Already, as I said, our government's agencies are declaring moms and dads who didn't want to implement the mandatory muzzles on their kids, domestic you-know-whats. Already, they are going after free speech with these taglines, anti-science, misinformation, all this stuff, right? And it is absolute fascism at its root. Absolute fascism. If you get caught doing business with these people in Canada, if you are a citizen, your assets can be seized. And they've already said they will not just take your bank accounts, they'll take your land as well. For all intents and purposes, Trudeau has declared war on the citizens of Canada. And there is a huge debate and infighting within their parliament. I've been watching it, and I've been watching it closely, guys, because, right now, Western civilization, Canada's a part of that, the United States is a part of that, the UK, Western civilization is under attack. It is being taken over systematically by fascists, and I'm not even going to say Marxist, communists, absolute evil fascist dictatorships that seek to impose their authoritarianism over the citizenry. And you get in their way, they're going to roll over you. They're going to roll over you. We are working within a system, people, that has built itself up to protect itself. You go and you protest for any topic in the United States that has a freedom-orientated topic or reason behind it, and you are labeled racist, misogynistic, hater, anti-this, anti-that. You are labeled. That's what these fascists do. First, they label you, and then they come in with reason to take your funds and to take your 2A from you, okay? We already know with red flag laws in the United States how many veterans have had their God-given right to bear arms taken from them. All it takes is some neighbor to make a false claim on somebody now. And the sheriff or the police department show up on your door. They take you off to a, quote, hospital where you got some nut job doctor that, maybe you're quirky, maybe you're just odd duck, what have you, to declare you mentally ill. And they can take your arms out of your home. This has been going on. And guys, this went on under Trump. He supported red flag laws. Remember, he said, take the guns first, due process later. Remember that. So before you keep going, this is a Democrat thing, check yourself. This is a Democrat, Republican. There is no in between, guys. And just, here's a side note here. Just yesterday, the Republicans walked out of the nomination meeting for the Federal Reserve nominees. Biden, along with the Democrats, are trying to fill 3 positions there. And the tactics he's using right now is to literally take over the Federal Reserve. Now, I am not a fan of the Federal Reserve. I think it should have been abolished years ago. But the last thing we want is an evil entity like that in the hands of anybody in D.C. If it's going to be there, it needs to be independent of them. It needs to have oversight, but it doesn't have oversight because it owns the government. So you need to be watching that very carefully. And never forget that just a few months ago, the Biden administration passed regulations, whatever they can call it, law. It's no law, right? That they can go into your bank accounts and see any transactions taken out or going in of $600 or up. It used to be $10,000. Remember, now it's $600. So you can see the game pieces, the chess pieces that have been laid out here. You can see what's happening in Canada. You can see it very clearly, and you can see what can happen here. Now, I think it's March 31st or something. They're supposed to have a trucker rally in the United States. I don't know what's going to happen with that, if it goes like it has here. But all the, quote, snake bite mandates have been pretty much shut down here. But businesses and companies are still pushing them on their employees. But it was shut down at the Supreme Court. But that's not to say that this government is usurping that channel, right? That open in your face channel. They're going to usurp that. And I believe, if you look into this, I foresee, guys, companies that have this getting huge tax breaks, companies, corporations, even independent businesses who push and mandate the snake bite, that they will be getting huge tax breaks. I mark my words. It hasn't happened yet. I don't have proof of it, but I see that for coming. I listen very careful to the trends, and I see that coming down the pipe of what people are talking about. Guys, I know there's a lot going on in the Ukraine right now. I believe, my personal opinion is that is going to be a big nothing burger. I do believe that it will be the tipping point that can cause the United States to go down the road to blackout. Okay? But right now, it's proving itself to be a nothing burger. I've watched multiple channels, multiple news sources about, the Russians being on the border, and yes, they're there. But you know what? They're only doing what NATO has done to them. So whether or not they will invade, that is yet to be seen. But it wouldn't surprise me that Putin backs off just to make the U.S. and NATO allied nations look like fools. And they already do look like fools. So, it's so ironic to me that, Biden, he tells our men and women, you ain't got to go over here. We're going to be ready. We're going to take the Russians out, take Putin out, to fight for the Ukrainian border, right? But our border's wide open, being flooded, and he don't do a dang thing. He's nothing but a hypocrite. And the reason he don't do a dang thing is because those are his slave votes. That's the left slave votes. And guess what? Before you go on, yep, that's the Democrats. The right don't do nothing about it. You want to know why? Because the right loves corporate welfare. They love it when big business and even their private businesses can get pay slave labor wages and to their employees. Don't make no mistake. The Republicans are all about saving business money. And that's what you find. So it's two sides of the same quarter, dime, nickel, penny, right? But guys, please pay attention to what is going on in Canada. It is very important. And many people argue that Canada is basically a subsidiary of the United States. So I don't know the legalities and all that behind that. I can't prove or disprove that. I've heard people argue that. It wouldn't surprise me that it is a subsidiary of USA Inc. So it's very important either way that we pay attention, because we are linked very closely with the Canadian government, business-wise, just in those aspects. So pay attention, guys. I don't know, the truckers and the people of that movement that are supporting the movement are very peaceful. I'm at this place in my life, and this is a question. This is questioning. I don't know how, when the fascist governments can come in, take your money, they can steal your money, your goods. They can steal your land. They can steal your house. They can lock you up. They are violent. And don't make no mistake, they'll come in with their dogs, their bats, and they'll beat the hell out of you, throw you in a paddy wagon, and haul you off. Guys, no matter what you say about the 6th of last year, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't agree with it. I thought people were stupid for going there. I figured it was a psyop to begin with. Those people are still sitting in jail and have no representation. There were people in the Iraq-Afghanistan wars that had more rights and representation than these American citizens that went into that Capitol building that day. So, guys, my question to you is, I don't see, I pray for peace. You know, the Bible says pray for peace. Pray for peace. I'm always praying for peace, and that's my hope. But I'm at this place in my life, I don't see how against a violent government that will come in with violence against you, that it can be answered with peace as a whole. If any of you guys got that answer out there, you know, comment below and share with me. I realize that Gandhi did this. There's small situations where this has been, but historically, as a whole, it has not proven to be factual. So guys, pay attention. Pay attention to Canada, what's going on, and how they will seize their bank accounts and their finances, and how they're seizing their land and their homes. And be prepared, because mark my words, it's coming here. It's coming here. But again, never get up your 2A. Never give up your arms. Never give them up. God bless, guys. Have a great day.